Sometimes when you're doing a Revit project, you'll need to link in other Revit projects into your own project environment. When you do this, one of the things you need to consider are the phases associated with that project that you're linking in. You want to make sure that those phases match up with the phases that you have inside of your own project. In this case, I have a project called Phase Mapping, and it's just from my default template. I opened up a project and named it Phase Mapping. In this case, I know that there's 3 different phases in the project I'm getting ready to link in. One is going to be an existing phase, another is called Demo, and then a third is called New Construction. So I want to coordinate those views so that each of those phases match up with the phases in my own project. To do this, I come underneath the Manage tab and then select on the word Phases. Currently, my project only has 2 phases associated with it, and I really would like to have a demolition phase. So underneath Insert, I'm going to click the word After, and it's going to insert after the existing phase a new phase that we're going to name Demolition. Existing was in the past and New Construction is in the future. Now we can click on OK to this. Now the next task is to bring in that extra Revit file that we want to phase map. And to do that, you come up to the Insert tab and pick on Link Revit. And the one we want to bring in is called Building Phases. And ideally, you should do auto origin the origin of this so that they share the same insertion point. And then if anything would change in the other Revit project, it would get updated in your Revit project. The building would stay in the same location. Now that we've done that, click on Open. We can now see that the Revit project is in here, but the phases aren't exactly 100% coordinated between one another. We'll see what I mean when we select on this project that we linked in. From here, we need to click on Edit Type, and in these type properties, we'll find Phase Mapping. From here, you need to select on Edit. This gives us a list of how these phases are getting mapped. These are the different phases we have in our project, and this is how these LinkedIn files are currently getting mapped to those phases. In this case, we can see there's an existing phase that's mapped to existing. New construction is mapped to new construction, so both of those are fine. But we don't want to see what its new construction looks like inside of our demolition plan. What we really want to have is to see their demolition plan inside of our demolition plan. So to do that, we're going to click where it has the words new construction, and then pick on the little down arrow that shows up on the side. Here we can see there's the word demo. Even though they've named it differently, because we have one on one side and one on the other side, that's how it's going to match up if we would look at a demolition plan. From here, you just click on OK, and then you would click on OK. And by going through that process, they have now been phase mapped between each other. Demolition on demolition, new construction on new construction, and existing on existing. So to set up those phases in between the projects you linked in your own project environment, you first need to make sure that you have all the phases that you need set up inside of the project. And you can do that from Manage and Phases, and then creating your own phases. Once those are set up, you link in the file, then select on the LinkedIn file, then go to its type properties, phase mapping, and then side by side, start linking the LinkedIn files phase to your phase. And then when you click on OK to that, those phases will now line up and display appropriately in the correct views.